Because I just had Rani Mukherjee on the podcast, just interviewed her. And so she took a couple of months, I think 18 months or something like that, when she had a baby. And her husband, who's an extremely private person, you rarely see. And so he was like, you're not just a mom, you need to do something on your own, otherwise you'll get obsessive. So she got out and she started acting, and it comes with its challenges, right? You have to express milk, you have to do that when you're doing that period. It was hard, but she decided to consciously go that route. Where she said that I continued to do it, but that was it. Like, she had those work hours and she would go home. No question. Exactly what Deepika is supposed to be telling her producers now, I believe. Do you support that kind of thing where actresses are saying that, no, as a mom, I will work only these many hours and these are my demands, standing by what you're saying?
I think that, firstly, for me personally, it comes to 7 p.m. and I go a little cuckoo because it's bedtime. And you understand that bedtime is so precious. The thought of somebody else putting your child to bed, you want to be there. Of course, like if Kunal is there, then it's fine. But I feel like even though I have a wonderful support system at home, I want to be that person, because those are the moments. And children have very brief, short memories. So if something has happened in the day, the next day she's forgotten about it. And those little things culminate in her personality, in shaping who she is. And then I've missed out. So nothing is as important to me, but I understand on a film production that you work for 12 hours and it's a commitment. And it's a lot of people putting a lot of money into it. So I think that has to be each to their own. If you're in a position whereby you can say that I'm only going to work for 8 hours and I would like to then leave, if your producer is able to and feels, okay, am I getting enough out of this person to make it worthwhile for me to take this person, then I will do that. And if I'm not, then I might have to take someone else. So I understand that...
Market economics.
And, there are not too many Deepika Padukones out there. So she may be able to get what she wants. And what she's asking for, I feel I empathize with as a mother. I would want to have it all. I would want a system whereby I can work 8 hours a day and also then spend some time with my child.
Have one parent at least at home.
I'll have one parent or one parent, one grandparent, one trusted nanny. There are lots of people. There's a huge support system.
You had your dad when your mom was going to work, right? Your dad was a stay-at-home?
My mother went to Mississippi, like she was shooting Mississippi Masala for 3 months. She had gone. In a time where you couldn't FaceTime for free. There was one landline. It was very expensive to call America. So we would write letters every day until my father told me, I'm not posting a letter every day to America. You write once a week. So I said, okay, fine. I write once a week, and we missed her terribly. And I was very young. But, she was, and then she would be there. And my father was there. And he didn't know all the rules. So we exploited that also.
Of course.
Which was fun. But, he was there. And I think for my brother, my mother was working far more. Mississippi Masala was like one film that she was doing with Meera Nair. Otherwise, she was there. She was a PTA chairperson. She was there for every school requirement. We went on holidays together every year. I think for my brother, she was perhaps more absent than either of them would have wanted. But, that's the way it is.
And what I've heard is that your dad was pretty strict as far as money matters are concerned. You guys were not spoiled kids at all.
No, his favorite word was no. So you had to make sure you had to ask the question, which my sister never learned. But I learned how to frame the question.
Okay.
You never leave an open-ended question like, can I do this? No. So you have to say, I'm going to Priyanka's house for a couple of hours. I'll be back at 6 o'clock. There's no question. And then he's like, before you know what's happening, like, so you have to work it a little bit.
So I had a very pleasant memory. I didn't realize at that time that, he didn't give many interviews. So,
no.
Yeah. So when I interviewed him in Bhopal, and Rajiv Gandhi was coming to campaign for him that day. So I did the interview, and then before I did the interview, I went with your mom in a Jeep.
Yes.
Open Jeep, because she was campaigning for him.
Right.
And so she said, come inside, and said, because I was following her in the Jeep, in my car. So she said, no, you come inside and sit in the Jeep with me. So she was standing, and I went and sat down. And when I sat on her sari by mistake. So the pleats all came off, and I was like so apologetic, because there are not million cameras those days, but there are lots of cameras, right? So I sat on her thing, and I sat on her pleats. I'm deviating now, but anyway.
That's fine. You can choose to edit it out or not.
So she yanked it, and she said, you know. So I said, I'm so terribly sorry. And, you know, like the people around, Begum Sahiba ki saadi pe baith gayi kind of thing. I died at that time. I was just a young reporter at that stage. So she was like, it's okay. In politics, these things happen. You know, very kind of her. And she continued.
And she continued. She can tie her own sari, which is something I can't do.
But she campaigned quite a bit for him.
She must have. I can't remember. This was in the 80s.
Yeah, and yes. And at that time, everybody said that she should have been the one who should have been fighting the election, because your dad was so laid back.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get out of the house till 2.
Yes.
And then, like, you know, okay, since the PM, he was not PM then, Rajiv Gandhi is coming in the evening at 8 o'clock. So he didn't get out till 2 or 3 o'clock. He was like, I kept waiting ki bahar niklenge. 11 o'clock at night he got out.
Really?
Yeah, he got out late night when Rajiv Gandhi came. So she was out all day in that heat in May.
Yeah. She's always been a very hardworking person from a very young age.
It didn't matter at all. She had her retinue with her.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter at all that it was in that heat.
No, but shooting also, there were no vanity vans.
Huh.
And they would sit, and she was telling me just yesterday, she said, you know, there'd be one big pankha on the set, and, you know, all the heroines would hold their hair and walk past it, because, you know, then when shooting with Satyajit Ray, you'd go locations, walk sometimes 15 minutes, half an hour to get to that perfect location, because you couldn't maneuver. Now they'd be like, oh no, we're not doing this. People have three vans, and it's far more luxurious.
I know, and it's very expensive. I believe producers are like cribbing and talking on all the podcasts, saying that
it can be.
I'm sure you'll also get one of these producers who will come and use your platform to crib about.
What fun!
To say that, you know, things are getting out of hand.
The entourage.
Yeah, as compared to even South India, I believe it's not that. Even though they're movie crazy.
I've heard
out there, but I believe
we're probably hearing the same stories. Yeah.
Same story.
Yeah.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा.
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है.
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब.
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप.
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI. It does not lie.